What's up, everybody? This is welcome to episode 2 of the Let's Chop It Up podcast. And now I have been convinced that this is a podcast, not just your normal podcast, but however, it's a podcast dealing with men's issues, coming from a male perspective, of course. I am your moderator, your boy, Minister Edward, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit one of the subjects that really frames my perspective on everything. We're going to be talking about men's mental health, and going into this week, I wasn't really sure of what I was going to talk about. I was traveling last week, so I didn't record a show last week, but that subject has always been at the forefront, seeing that I am currently seeing a therapist right now for issues that I had in my childhood and everything like that. So just wanted to touch on some things real quick. Last month was Men's Mental Health Month, and quite frankly, there was not a major deal made of it. Quite frankly, there was not enough coverage. There was not enough things done in the media, things done on the line to promote the fact that last month was Men's Mental Health Month. So what I wanted to talk about, and that's going to be one of my main things that we talk about, that we're going to be talking about going forward, along with the spiritual issues and everything like that. But we will be talking about those things going forward. Next week, I will be changing formats. I will no longer be going live on Facebook, but I will be loading the podcast up on Facebook. You can also see the podcast on my YouTube channel, Let's Chop It Up. Please go there, like and subscribe if you want to look at those particular things. So there was a incident that kind of spurred me into talking about men's mental health issues this week. I was talking to a friend of mine at work. We're all truck drivers. I work for a trucking company, of course. But he showed me a video of one of his friends down in Florida, Bonita, I think it was Bonita Springs, Florida, where a young man, it was a young black man, walked into the path of an oncoming semi and killed himself. He chose to end his life, but along with that, he gave trauma to the truck driver. Now, mind you, I hope my friend doesn't mind me sharing this story, but this is the second time this has happened to him. He hit a man with dementia, I think he said about 15 years ago. But the young man the other day, he chose to end his life by walking out in front of a oncoming semi truck. Now, if y'all know that semi trucks can weigh upwards to 80,000 pounds, and with that type of force, he's going to be instantly deceased. He's going to be instantly deceased. Second time going through something like that, I was traveling through Austin one time, and a man decided to end his life by walking out in front of an Old Dominion driver. I think this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Old Dominion driver was going 70 miles an hour. So I think there needs to be a bigger emphasis put on men's mental health and the issues that we have as males walking through this life, particularly black men. So just want to dive in real quick and give you a couple of facts. The rate of suicide among black men in the United States is a significant public health concern, and while historically it's lower than that of white men, there have been alarming increases in recent years, particularly young black males. Overall, here's some key points. Overall, the suicide rate has risen over the last 4 years, particularly among young men. It has went up almost 36%, 37% over the last 4 years. It's the second leading cause of death among African American men 15 to 24. So, and it's also for teens and young males, it's the third leading cause. Just think about this. Suicide rates among black men is 80% higher than that of black women. Of course, it states that we are among the black population, that suicide rates seem to peak during adolescence and young adulthood, then decline through 85 plus. This differs from the overall U.S. population, where rates usually peak in middle age. Some of the factors: systemic racism and discrimination, lack of culturally sensitive mental health care. That's a big thing. That's a big thing, because we go through we as black men go through an entirely different set of factors than any other race does. The cultural stigma, that's also a big one. We've been going back. Everybody said that when we get therapists, go to a therapist, we're crazy. I'm currently seeing a therapist. I don't feel like I'm crazy. I feel like I'm walking that line, trying to get healed. Excuse me, real quick. It's just that there are not the resources aren't there to be for us as black men, and to go through what we need to go through healing, go through all of this, to become the best version of ourselves. So that is one of the reasons why I focus on men's mental health, because of those factors right there. We go through a myriad of things. We haven't even, in this show, we haven't even touched the surface. There's daddy issues, gender issues, identity issues. There's a whole myriad of things, that trauma that happened, and we ain't gonna even start talking about they talk about women being sexually abused. We're not going to even talk about. We might touch that later on down the line, where young boys were sexually abused. So we're going to touch that. We're going to touch that also. But it's just the fact that we as black men, we isolate ourselves from having the accountability with other people that we need, and also having the fellowship of other folks that we need. We can't walk this world alone. We can't. You got to have somebody to talk to along the way, whether it be an older gentleman, younger gentleman, whether it be one of your partners from work, or a guy you grew up with. And we're going to talk about friends also down the line, later on in this show, later on in these shows. We can't walk this world alone. It's just impossible for us to be alone and isolate ourselves, and also have good mental balance of what we need as men, and how we need to walk this earth as men. Now, all of those facts were fine. All of those facts are great, but at the same time, and I'm a testament to this. Someone once told me, if you don't slay the serpent, slay the serpent in the early part, it becomes a dragon at the end, just like in Genesis. They didn't take care of the serpent back then, it became a dragon by Revelations. So the longer you let this stuff fester, and I'm a living testament to this, it can start affecting your home, your marriage, your relationships, all of your relationships, whether it be male or female. As long as you keep on, as long as you let this stuff fester, you almost have to just be vigilant and know yourself and know when something is wrong and let somebody know that you need some help. Now, and I get it. We're men. We were programmed to, hey, you're supposed to be stoic. You're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be that. And that comes along with the cultural things that we were talking about, that we just mentioned. Oh, you're a man. You ain't supposed to cry. Oh, you're a man. You're not supposed to feel bad. Oh, you're a man. You're not supposed to show any type of emotion at all. You're supposed to be the rock. Well, if the water beats on the rock long enough, the rock no longer ceases to exist. It's a geological fact. It may take 25,000 years for that rock to wear down, but that rock no longer exists so long as the water keeps rolling. And the water is life. Life keeps on rolling on us. So we have to, as men, if everyone that's listening under the sound of my breath, man, look, I read a something online the other day, and it said, if you're the firstborn, you need some therapy. If you're the middleborn, you need some therapy. If you're the baby boy, you need some therapy. If you were raised by a single mother, you need some therapy. If you raised by an absentee father, you need some therapy. So it went down this myriad of a whole lot of different things that we as men, the situation that every man has went through in his life, we need some therapy. We are all unhealed. We are. There, in some shape, form, or fashion, we are unhealed. So that being the thing, that the catalyst that we need to walk forth in this life and just keep on walking forth in this life. Now, I just, I go through a lot of these things, and I just want to encourage our men, encourage every man under the sound of my voice, that, man, look, it doesn't matter what your circumstance is. Everybody needs somebody to talk to, whether it be you got to talk to your friend or you need some professional help. Because sometimes your friend won't give you the proper perspective that you need, but a therapist will. And once again, last month was Men's Mental Health Month. And it wasn't any big deal made. It was a little bit of a big deal made. I saw a couple of dudes on TikTok say something about it. But overall, there is not a big thing with men being healed. And that's my purpose. That's my vision for this podcast, to help somebody be healed. Now, like I'm currently, and I'm going to transition into a little bit of my journey right now. I'm currently in a treatment plan right now of healing from childhood trauma. My therapist, Dr. David Jones, down in Cypress, Texas. We do a Zoom every week, and we're grinding hard on it. We are currently talking about, he dug deep on me, man. He dug deep on me. He started bringing up, he wanted me to talk about the trauma of things that happened in went back to the very day that it happened and how I felt those very days those things were happening. And it was terrifying, really, because I mean, I could see myself. There's that little boy sitting on those steps, or I could see myself. I could just see myself from the outside looking in. It was like I was looking at a movie. And man, look, it's just it's a I'm on a treatment plan. I think he said it's going to be 12, 13 weeks. Also reading a book, and I didn't bring it in here with me today, but reading a book called, it has to do with regrets. And I'm reading that book, and man, seeing a lot of things. It talks about how regret is, you can't use regret as a negative. You have to use it as a positive. You have to use the regret as a learning experience. Sometimes your emotions get tangled up, and regret is an emotion. It is an emotion. It's not just a fly-by-night thing. It's not just a feeling. It's an emotion. So we have to, go ahead and deal with those regrets, because as men, we do have those regrets. We have regrets about our children, about a decision that we should have made, the relationships that we've had. We have regrets about all of those different things. And they can either be a negative or a positive when it comes right down to it. The negative is it can transform itself into guilt, which is what I've been dealing with probably for the last 40 years of my life. Different regrets about different things, and all of those different regrets have become a stronghold in my life and caused a lot of the behaviors that I've had in my life. And I'm here to tell you, man, that if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. I'm here to tell you that. But we are attacking this problem. We're walking forth in this problem. We are attacking it, man, and I'm getting the help that I need finally at 60 years old. At 60 years old. I've been needing this help. But, back then, as I said before, back then, black men didn't go to therapy. Black men didn't go to therapy back then. Black men didn't talk. I remember a trip that my dad was on. I took my dad to Flint, Michigan to see his sister. And man, when I say everything that that man needed to say, he said it from Blytheville, Arkansas to Flint, Michigan. It was about a 9-hour ride, from a 9-10-hour ride. But he talked from that time, he talked the entire time. He completely unburdened himself to me. It was crazy. And, the man was there he was a couple of blocks over during the Central High crisis in Little Rock. Police told them they need to take their black aides back to the east side, if you know about Little Rock. Dad saw his mom, was in the room when his mama passed. That's trauma. And so, I mean, you got to look at a lot of those factors that our dads dealt with. The racism, the police brutality. My dad told me he knew some of those guys. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people in Little Rock that don't know about the Ricefield, what happened down in Ricefield in the late 50s. Somebody set fire to it was a boys' dorm down there, a reformatory dorm down there. And they set fire to it. And he lost a lot of friends in that. So, I'm just saying that unhealedness, man, unhealedness. We have to be, if we're going to be the best versions of ourselves, and I'm talking about me, I need to heal from what the traumas that I've been through in my life. And there's been numerous. Man, it's been numerous. So, but I just wanted to address this, man, and just say through all of that, though, just like it says, and people talk about mental health like a therapist, like it's a bad thing. And I read I think I said this once before, that Meta Washington on Sirius Channel 64, the Kirk Franklin station, said that you can have Jesus and you still need a therapist, because Jesus heals your spirit, but you need somebody to heal you, try to help you heal your emotions and your mental. And my thing is that this is God sent. In 2 Peter 1 and 3, it says that He gives us everything. His divine power, and I'm reading the new International Version. His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who calls us by His own glory and goodness. Everything. That therapist is what you need. That therapist can be godly sent. Now you got to get the right one. Of course, you got to get someone that walks that's a follower of Christ and walks in that life. But we have to take advantage of all of these things that God have put on this earth for us to succeed and to have better lives. God put people in our lives to help us. God put people on the sideline that all we got to do is tag them in the game to help us walk through this life. And man, look, it's just all we got to do is step out, like Peter did, man. All we got to do is step out on faith and walk towards the light that is Jesus Christ. In all of that, you still have your emotions that you have to deal with. You have your spiritual that you deal with, right? We are three things. We are flesh, we are spirit, and we are mind. So you still have to deal with your mind, your flesh, and you still have to deal with your flesh, and you still have to deal with your mental. But through that spiritual part, God gives us all of these things that are given in our life so that we can be better people, so that we can just be better. We pray about that every week. We go into service saying we don't want to go out the way that we go out the way that we came in. Yeah, we don't want to do that. But also we don't want to go into, every day we want to learn something about ourselves. Every day we want to either grow, because you can't be stagnant. Every day you need to grow. Every day you need to learn something about yourself. Every day you need to learn something that will carry you through this life, you know. And I've been on the Wheeler Avenue read the Bible in a year, and I'm behind a little bit. I will admit, but I'm like within, I'm in Psalms, and you can go through Psalms pretty quickly. But it's just looking at all of the things that God did, man. Moses was a terrible speaker. He stuttered. He sounded like a motorcycle starting up. I can imagine. He probably couldn't talk very well. He couldn't talk very well. But he sent Jonathan. Not Jonathan, but he sent Joshua to help convey the message. If the message came to Moses, Moses told Joshua, and Joshua told the people. So we have to use, God put those things in our lives, that we have to use everything that God puts in our lives to walk through this life, man. He put therapists on this earth for a reason. He put psychiatrists on this earth for a reason. He put doctors on this earth for a reason. He put pastors on this, spiritual pastors on this earth for a reason. All we have to do is do the work, man. We have to do the work. And, I'm committed to doing the work to be better going forward, man. I mean, I probably got about 20 good years left on this earth, man. Maybe 10 productive, I don't know. But I'm putting myself in a position to where I can be better in the latter part of my life. Yeah, I've done some stuff in the first 3/4 of my life, but right now I feel like I'm getting ready to go into the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that. I at this point I got to do what I got to do to win the game. If I gotta hit a 70-yard, if I gotta hit a slap pattern and go 70 on them, I need to do it. But man, look, I'm getting ready to close this out, and I hope I've encouraged somebody along the way, man. Man, look, get into church and get yourself a therapist. Find you a good church. Find you a good therapist. Exercise. That's body, mind, and spirit. Find your church, exercise, and get your therapist. That's your balance. That's your balance. If you gotta, and we're gonna talk about. I got so many ideas in my mind, man. I'm gonna talk about men's health, physical health, one of these weeks. Because I've been finding some stuff out about, our physical health, even at 60 years old, that we need to be doing. Different tests that we need to be doing. So that's going to be the format of this show going forward, man, to help a man, help a brother, help a man, whoever, help you, help us become a better version of ourselves as we walk down this road, man. Hey, man, look, I hope you guys have a great week. I'm gonna record another show next week. I'll probably be changing formats. I'll go off of Facebook Live, but I will be uploading from a different format going forward. I'm going to go over to Podcastle and record, and then release the shows on and YouTube and in YouTube and on Facebook. And man, look, like I said, man, I hope that I help somebody today. That is my prayer. God just allow the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart, God, to be acceptable to you, that I might help someone out along the way. All right, man. Hey, man, this is Minister Edward, man. I got to get going on my Saturday. Hey, look, be strong, be brave, and walk with God, man.